Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everybody to the Triumphant Radio Show here at 108 Praise Radio. I'm your host, Sharita Lovelace, and I am super excited to be here with you once again on this Monday evening. Now, I hope some of you were able to get your tea and be able to sit back and relax because it is getting late. And I want you to be able to rest and relax while we go through this hour of power, this fun Monday. And we have just a lot of things in store for this hour. So I just want you to be in the right posture to receive it all. I have, as you see to my left, your right, an awesome, phenomenal guest with me today. I'm really excited about it. I don't have just one guest. I have two guests today. So we're excited about what God is doing on Monday nights here at the Triumphant Radio Show, where we're always voicing the gospel. What we're going to hear tonight is some awesome just words and inspiration and nuggets and background about these gentlemen that are coming on today. But before we go any further, I do want to give a shout out to, not really a shout out, I just want you to lift your hearts up tonight before you go to bed for Hawaii. I do have my mug, which is from Hawaii. And some of you know that whenever I go to another country, I try to collect a mug because it reminds me not only to pray for them while I'm having my tea or my coffee, but it's, also for just to collect. But please pray for Hawaii. And we speak Hawaii because we've been there, our organization for ministry. A lot of people go there for travel and for, entertainment and other reasons, but we went there for ministry a couple of times, and so they're close to our hearts. So if you need to look on the news and check it out, please do and keep them in your prayers. Well, tonight we're going to get right to it. I have to my left, Mr. Kendrick Love. Come on, everybody, give him a hand. Give him a heart, a thumbs up, or something online. Hello. Say hello to the people, Kendrick.
Hello, how are you all doing? This is a first for me, so excuse me. I've never done this before, so
it's gonna be great.
But just the radio is new,
right,
so,
right. Hey,
yes.
That's all right. We're in this together. We're in this together.
Yeah.
But I feel like I have Wakanda in the house. Wakanda is in the house. You know why Wakanda is in the house? Because this brother right here was on the purple carpet for the Black Panther movie. Yes, yes, yes. He performed, danced on the carpet. And I want you to tell the listening audience and the viewers what you did on the carpet for the Black Panther. How did that come to be? And then I'm going to tell you a little bit of background about this awesome man.
Yes, hello, how are you doing? Exactly. I've had the opportunity to do a lot of, I won't say a lot of things, but with the Black Panther, and it was very, very, my story is very unique when it comes to this experience with Black Panther. It's very, very unique. I got a chance to meet a lot of people. Of course, the number one person is the Black Panther man himself. I got a chance to sit in and spend some time and chit-chat with Chadwick.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, was it just you on the carpet, or were you with other dancers?
No, this was the performance was, well, it depends on which one, because I had to deal with several.
Oh, excuse us.
Yeah, so.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it was definitely had a chance to deal with the several
components of
yes.
it, and yeah, that's wonderful. So, for those of you who don't know Kendrick, he is a great partner and friend with my organization, Passion for Worship Dance Ministries International. Shout out to all of you. I love you. He has choreographed for events for us. He has been a guest facilitator teacher. This is a powerful dancer, choreographer, but it starts somewhere. We're going to get to that in 1 minute. And when you talk about the arts in the world, and when you talk about when people do things because of passion or just because they see something, this gentleman demonstrates the passion of the art of dance. I mean, he works. He's busy, but he has a heart for people. But it didn't just start overnight, right? Tell them where did dance come into place for your life?
Okay, well, definitely. I was one of those kids that played all of the sports. So just to let you know, I was one of those average young males that didn't know what to do, just tried to play sports, and that's all. Wasn't really good at school, so it definitely was a struggle. And truth of the matter is, in dance, I hate to say it, but girls got me into dance.
Look at
So
that.
yes, girls did get me in the dance. I had a crush on a dance teacher, and so they asked me to come in for the dance class, and I was gonna say no until actually one of the girls walked by in the dance off, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna give this a try.
Right.
And then after that, when I started sitting here and I was able to work with the young ladies, but the love came in for dance after that. So it started taking its place of, okay, well, I'm in here for girls. Now I actually started feeling better. It became more therapeutic. And so it was definitely fun for me, but it was also a good food for the soul. So that was one of the things that made it very, very well.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that food for the soul because some of us that are really passionate about the arts and our gift, it brings us to a place of freedom. It makes us feel free. It takes us out of an element. I share with people, all the time that when I started dance, I felt free. It took me away from things I was going through. I mean, do you get that feeling when you dance?
Yeah, it got me through college.
Yeah. Look at that.
Really, if it wasn't for being in dance and then doing the choir, if it wasn't for studying music in the concert choir with my mentor, he's deceased now, but if it wasn't for those two things, I would not have graduated. I would have flunked out of college, definitely. It brought a lot of elements. It brought all the things that I needed in order to graduate. So.
Wow, that's amazing. And what I love about Kendrick is the fact that there's something that a lot of people miss in the arts. When we're talking about triumphant and a life of triumphant and loving the Lord and doing what we do, we're talking about going from a place of maybe wondering or trials or tribulations or trauma to a place where you feel victorious. Mm-hmm. Has there been any time in your life as a male dancer that you felt that you've gone through a trial, been on trial by some folks, because you know how we do, or something, but now you're in this place of triumphant. You're a successful professional dancer.
Yes.
Tell them what that was like. What happened?
One struggle, like I said, was college, school. Is that here it is. I did not know anything. I was not a college student. So when I tell anybody that anyone can make it through college, anyone can make it through college. I was a professional college student. So those who are sitting here like, okay, well, my goodness, I'm still in college. No, trust me, it's okay. You're going to make it. Because see, now here it is. Not only was I graduated there, but now I'm working on my master's.
Right.
So
look at that.
Yeah, so I can tell you, dance, art, I am a person that definitely is faithful on, talking about the effects of art for children, especially our young black males.
Right.
Because we sit here and our identity is only on sports.
Come on.
And I can tell you right now, because that's who I was. So I was definitely, and then you thought about, okay, arts like in dance. Okay, well, no, this is for not the males. This is for those stereotypical males that, okay, well, the homosexual males and stuff like that. Not speaking against them. So I have good friends that definitely.
Yeah.
So I'm not speaking against them, but you thinking that it's only made for them. And no, it was not. It actually helped me through my anger issues.
Look at that.
It helped me be able to communicate. It helped me. It helped me a lot. Definitely it helped me feel better. You have to maintain a diet when you're doing it. It's those things that definitely dance is. I give so much credit for the arts.
Right.
Definitely.
That is awesome because you named some key words, and I think us as women dancers, we can relate to that in terms of dealing with certain issues that we may have in the home, outside the home, going through a situation where we don't want to tell anybody. And so I love hearing that. I'm fascinated at how you balance it all. Your father, an awesome father, and you choreograph. You have a dance school now. You're asked to do things left and right all the time. How do you stay balanced with that? Is that a fair question? Is there a solution?
God.
Okay, hey, that's our solution.
All capital letters.
Right.
There's nothing it don't get any better because I look at my schedule and I'm like, oh my goodness,
how do you do this?
How in the world am I making it through this here? It is truly. I can tell you, I have good support system. So definitely those who are helping me out. But I really don't know. I can't pinpoint it, because if you knew the kind of life I lived, it's not small. My day job,
Right.
my day job is called an intensive interventionist.
Talk
So
about
I
that.
work with children with emotion behavior disorders. And my position is that I go into crisis situations for our program. They call me or they call one of my coworkers, and we go in to de-escalate the situation. I mean,
Amazing.
and it could be something small as they just getting in trouble in the classroom, to the point to where they're actually trying to kill themselves. I've dealt with it all. I've had to deal with almost every type of crisis there is. You know, even me getting in trouble, even myself that got in harm's way at one point.
Right.
So it's
That
no,
balance.
not one point, several times. I mean, I've jumped in front of cars and stopped kids from getting hit by cars. You know,
That's
it's
intense.
Yeah,
That's deep.
Yeah, it's been those types of things. So I'm not just a regular dancer. Like, okay,
Right.
here it is. No, my day job, I'm going in to go deal with these kids, and then
Right.
after that, I go and I teach dance, and so in the evening times. So. Then after that, working on my master's, and then now the new change that's coming in my life is that
Right.
I'm now going to be a single father, because my kid's mom and I, we talked, and she said it's time
at
for the
that.
boys to start becoming men.
Look at
So, and she called me, so it wasn't just I want to make sure I give her credit for that.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, this story is just beautiful because it has so many colorful parts to it. And when I mean colorful, I mean that, you know, it doesn't matter what situation you're in life.
Mm-hmm.
When you pursue something and you realize you're passionate about it and you keep going with it, it's amazing to see how far it can take you.
Yes.
And
It
you
really
can't
is.
say, well, I can't, you know, I'm just going to own a dance studio. But that you can still do more. You can still go get your master's degree. You can still upgrade yourself. There's so many things that you can do. I was looking at a phone today, and I was looking at the SIM card. And I was like, okay, so you need a SIM card to put in a phone, right? And what came to me with the SIM card was that activation means to send in motion, meaning that whatever I need this phone to do, I'm making the phone work, sending it in motion. That's activation. That's also the acronym for SIM, S-I-M, right? S-I-M, SIM card. And I think that's kind of cool because some of us need a change of SIM card. You're dealing with the same position in life, you know, too long. You're dealing with the same level of thinking or doing, you know, when you can progress and advance in whatever passion you have, whatever gift you have, you know, I think it's awesome. I'm going to stop right here because I want to remind you to call in for a question for Kendrick as we continue to talk about how he's just been triumphant in the arts and the movement of dance. And it's not just for dancers. This is for anybody. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. But 770-988-6461. And I think we have a caller on the line.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Caller, are you there? Hello, caller, are you there? Stewart? No. Okay, we're gonna hold for a second with that. Hold for a second. Keep them on hold. We're gonna hold for that. But if you want to call into the station and you have a question for Kendrick, please call in. But I want to talk about the fact of you've been doing this for 20 plus years. Mm-hmm. I want the people that are not into dance, that are not in the arts, what could we tell them that will help them understand that you don't have to have gone to school since you were 2 years old to be a dancer, to be in the arts? Yeah,
definitely. Let me explain. So when you're sitting there talking about, first of all, so you're going to get hit with this next shock, is that I started dancing when I was in the 12th grade. So I did that in 12th. No, you don't.
Wow,
So
right.
that basically means if I've been doing it for 20-something years, I'm definitely a bit older. I'm definitely not the age that it appears that I am. So anyone can dance.
Right.
Anyone at any time. Now, the reason I say that is because I teach not just to the regular population, I teach special population. See, I'm a
Right.
therapeutic dance specialist as well. So the dance
awesome.
company that I do, I've taught seniors, so I've all the way up to the age of 94 years old. But I've also taught I've taught dance to autistic kids, Down syndrome, those who sit there and have certain mental retardations. I've also taught to behavioral kids.
Right.
I've taught to every type of student that I think the child that you can teach. So I've been able to work with every type of kid, and so that's where my Wakanda story comes in play. It's a little bit more something that I also was able to do.
Wow. It amazes me that, well, it shouldn't, as a dancer, it should not, that, when we look at dance, we only look at it from the performance perspective, which is good and it's fun. But also you have choreographed in the church and outside the church before, which is what I love because it gives you versatility. But I read something on your Facebook page that talked about dance reversing the signs of aging. And I love that. I believe that.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to stop dancing. For all those people who say, when are you going to stop dancing?
Never.
We are not stopping until we just can't do it anymore. Right?
You're always a student.
Explain that age reversal thing to people.
Okay. Well, my birthday was December 30th, 1976. So yes, I'm 41 years old.
Woo!
So,
40 crew.
Yeah.
I like
so
the
yeah,
crew.
so and the thing is that even at the age of 41, I still can do handstands and chairs, backward flips. I can still do those things. I can still do turns and those types of things. Dance definitely, I feel it reverses. I've seen video footage of where a person who is supposed not being able to walk, and then here it is, now they're running. I've seen some of the effects that it's done with in special populations. I've seen it myself. I've been able to experience how some students they were unable to do certain movements, and then 2 years later, here it is, they're doing the movement. Yeah, I mean, that brought me to tears that day. I remember that day very well. So it was. I've been able to watch how therapeutic it has been. It's so much of a story, so many stories in it. That's why it's kind of hard to localize on one specific thing.
Right.
But I've been able to see the positive things that
from it. And so, I mean, no one can tell me that dance is just for girls or the arts, or that it's just something to do, or we just throw our kids in. There is so much therapeutic elements that go in movement alone. I mean, that's part of the reason why you see a lot of senior citizens going to do aqua aerobics and things like that to keep their bodies going, the circulation, the blood, things of that nature. And what I love about dance, the ministry of dance, and in general, is that it truly can change a situation or a mindset from traumatic to triumphant. When you look on some of our news stories, you'll see a lot of times people taking the kids to a dance studio or to a dancer, or you'll see kids, mimicking what they see, on YouTube or Facebook, and they're dancing. They believe it or not, they're releasing something. Yes. Now, I'm not saying all dance is, there's some dances I can't talk about that, and so I gotta clarify that, and I'm gonna try to, But I think you all understand what we mean, because some dance does not do what we're talking about. But that's another topic, another show. But it is a therapeutic, and we can't put that stigma on that. Oh no, I'm not gonna let my boy do that, or I'm not going to let him, or whatever, because we're hearing live testimony tonight how a child that's autistic or disabled or an issue, in a wheelchair, can go from beginning movement, and here we go, allowing the Holy Spirit to come in, and just because they have availed themselves and their body to movement and dance, and the therapeutic side of it, how it has transformed something in their body, their life, their mind, whatever it may be. And I just think that is so beautiful. That's trials to triumphant living to me. When you have 20 years plus of seeing that, you can't even name it all, I'm sure. You probably could write a book on...
I've thought about it.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're going to have to. To share about, these sides of dance that we don't talk about. We just see a dance in our church, or we see a dance in the streets, or wherever we see it, but there's more to it. And I think that's what us, we're passionate about, those of us that are artists. And I have to wear my Passion for Dance shirt today, not only to honor and recognize the professional choreographer, but also because it is our heart, it is our passion. I think we danced years ago at an event, and I think that's the first time that we had ministered together. And I learned a lot as a dancer because even though I took dance in school, I stopped stretching as long as I should be stretching before I performed. But when I saw Kendrick over here stretching for an hour before he had to go on stage,
right.
then I repeated that in the back, in the corner where no one could see me, made sure I got my stretch on too. So you never know who's watching,
yes,
you know. But you want to talk about humility and humble and helpful. The whole package is here. I want you to tell the viewers and the listeners two things. How can they get in touch with you, and tell them about the dance company?
Yes, definitely. It wasn't a dance studio, but I've started a dance company, and it's called Kendrick Love Dance Company, which I teach mobile. So I teach in several places, but one place is definitely for right now that I know that's solidified is in Ackworth. It's Honey Rockwood Studio. I've started the dance company because of what caused me to really start thinking of it is that it was a student that passed, and he was one of them. It's a very quick story, but here it is. But I worked very close with him in my day job, and finding out that he had a brain tumor. And so what I did is that I had set up to where he could meet Chad, because his favorite superhero was Black Panther. Well, I did that because I wanted him to keep fighting his tumor, even though it was terminal.
Wow.
And so he stayed alive many months after that. But unfortunately, he died before we could get him to the red carpet for the Black Panther movie.
Wow.
So yeah, but that kind of sponsored me. His name is Ian Hopgood, and I definitely want to give a shout out to his mother, because she was definitely she shared him with me. So I definitely want to make sure that but that was what happened. And so I started saying, okay, well, I want to do a dance company and start introducing kids to more things. And then my life is, okay, here it is. I was able to learn dance, and it did save me.
Look at that.
So I want to give back.
That's right.
And so definitely, you definitely want to sit here and try to get in touch with its Kendrick Love Dance Company page on Facebook, also the IG, so Instagram, Kendrick Love Senior. For myself, a Facebook profile, also on IG. Definitely, you can do those. Those are sign-up sheets. And dads, I'm speaking directly to you.
Yes.
I am a contemporary dancer, not hip-hop. That does not mean that I shun on hip-hop. I'm awfully hip-hop. So you want to have something to laugh about, then watch me do hip-hop. But I can tell you, dads, I'm speaking directly to you. It is okay for your sons to be doing dance. I know that we have that stigma of worrying about, okay, it's going to be soft, or it's going to be leading into them being, homosexual or something of that nature. Well, I'm a living proof that that's not true.
Right.
So, and it did help. And it wasn't hip hop. It did help me be able to learn more. Because of dance, I was able. It put me in the mood to learn history, to learn art, but to learn why these situations happen, and learn how to talk to people. So I can tell you, as a spokesman don't follow the hype.
That's good.
That's definitely, don't do that. It definitely will. I don't want to keep running my mouth so much, but I definitely want to say, I could go on.
We need to hear this, because there's such a stigma attached to it, and so many people have been saved by their gift and their art, and they've used it the right way. And we have an example with us here tonight. Going from a certain place or a mindset, and not the college person, but a gift that God was able to cultivate in him just by a chick walking by.
That's
a slang way to put it.
I hate to say it, but it was the girls. Hey, mama.
Girl, mom, yeah.
Yeah, so,
but you never know how God will lead you to a place to begin your preparation process. So that's great information. It's also great for men to hear, young boys, young teens to hear, that it can be a man's world too in the dance industry.
It is.
Notice I said a man's world.
My dance classes, the majority of them, too many times, have been with males.
Come on.
They've been, and I teach them how to dance like males.
Right.
So despite their background, again, I take any kid in, no matter who they are, and I teach. Here it is. This is how you're gonna learn to dance. So definitely.
Right. That's beautiful. You know, again, if you're just joining with us, we're listening to Kendrick Love here on 108 Praise Radio, the Triumphant Radio Show. We're excited that he came on with us today. We still have more to come. I want to say a quick hello to Tracy Betts, Janine, Monica Ronisa, Kelly, and I think there's some more of you that I can't see yet. But thank you for joining the show. Please pass the show to your friends and your Facebook friends, your Instagram followers, as we are not done yet. We're still sipping on our tea, having a conversation as we go into our Monday evening night. So we're going to take a brief break, and we're going to come right back with Hank Stewart. God bless you.
So smooth. We just going to talk about God a little bit. Yeah. Who would have thought at the age of 22 I would be devoted and dedicated to you, addicted to your mercy and undeniable truth. Grace without reproof, Lord, I like the way you move. Like a kid chilling in the candy store. Daddy, I want more, the blessings you have in store. And your grace and your mercy, so cool, it's all that I need. And better is one day in your crib, the love that you give, the life I want to live. Better than what the world has to offer. Chilling with the Father, make him up harder. Captivated by the things that you do, like make the sky blue. Creation gives praise to you. The wind and the waves feel groove. Lord, you're so smooth. You're so smooth. Don't nobody got a swagger like you. Yeah. I know me like you do. You do. In your presence, all I say is ooh. All I say is ooh. You're so smooth. Some like to call it magic. Lord, I just get ecstatic at what you do. Lord, you're so smooth. Now things move at the word you say. Talk to the wind and the waves, they obey. Who could forget that you walked on the sea? Man, I panicked, no, not me. Fed 5,000 with 2 fishes and some bread. You called out to Lazarus, he raised from the dead. You could have let all that power go to your head, but you chose to walk as a servant instead. That brings me to the best part, because what you did takes more than a big heart. Lord, that you love me enough to die for me. You let them mock you and died on Calvary for my sin crucified. Jesus, that's why you're so fly. That's not the end, rose again. I could be saved, call me friend. You're so smooth, don't nobody got a swagger like you. I know me like you do. In your presence all I say is ooh. You're so smooth, some like to call it magic. Lord, I just get ecstatic at what you do. Lord, you're so smooth, so smooth. Don't nobody got a swagger like you. I know me like you do. In your presence all I say is ooh. You're so smooth, some like to call it magic. Lord, I just get ecstatic at what you do. Depths the earth are in his hand.
Receive a little bit of a nugget, a little bit of tea. So I'm glad you're joining me tonight. Again, if you've missed part of our show, we've had Kendrick Love on the show, who's still here on my left, your right. We're excited that he's here on the show with us. We've heard some awesome information over these last 30 minutes. You'll be able to get the, listen back to the show on the 108 Praise Radio Facebook page, my page, Sharita Lovelace Ministries, YouTube, Instagram. I know they're laughing at me here in the studio. But anyway, we're excited to be here. But I am excited for our second guest. Over a decade ago, it has to be now, maybe almost 2 decades, because I've been in Georgia, I think just about that time ago. And I was attending a church downtown Atlanta, and there was some event going on, and I heard this awesome poet speaking, and it was just phenomenal because there was some passion inside of it. And who would have ever known that this year, May of 2018, that same person would be here with us on the Triumphant Radio Show. Mr. Hank Stewart, give some hearts if you're online, get some claps if you're in your homes. Mr. Stewart, you there?
Yes.
Yes.
How y'all doing tonight?
We're awesome. We are so happy you are here. Look, I was looking online at some of the things that of your bio. And, this year, 27 years ago, you scribed your first poem. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, it'll be November the 7th, 1991 is when I started writing poetry. And so, yeah, this will be my 27th year.
So I feel honored because, it's May, and then when we look years back before May, so this is a special night for me too. It's awesome. I want to share with you all before Hank talks a little bit because there's some exciting events coming up, but I just want you, those of you that are from my tribe that may not recall everything that this powerful man does and has done. Let me tell you a little bit. Stuart's a published writer. He has written several books, and if you go on his webpage, you can even go now while we're on the show, because I would love for you to call in at 770-988-6461 and ask a question if you need to. Several books. One book was called Second Chance, which was written to reveal the Savior to lost souls, to rejuvenate the Christian experience. There's another book that was written called Be Still and Know. I love it. Collection of works focusing on the power of prayer and the importance of spiritual guidance. We still need books out there like this. Let me tell you some more. I love the fact that in a statement he made, he said, I think conscious poetry is important, and we're going to get back to that in a minute. And he says it documents history. And that tells me right there that he's not just writing a line to please you, but he's trying to impact you. I love it. But as I go on and read his bio, it talks about how he merges the poetry with jazz. Beautiful. It really brings you into a place because, music brings us to a place, itself. So when you add that poetry to it, it's awesome. I've learned that he's a regular, or has been, and you can correct me, Hank, if I'm wrong, guest spot on The Quiet Storm. We've heard of that on V103. Where he was broadcasting, highlighting poetry and jazz on that show. Really awesome. And Hank has performed at the Trumpet Awards, the Essence Music Festival, written and performed commercials for the McDonald's Corporation called 365 Black, has done some commercials for Fox 5 Atlanta, which resulted in the winning of the 2007 Emmy, Promax, and Gabby Awards, founder of Walk Against the Call, raised more than $100,000. This was an awareness to prevent breast cancer. There's so much more. And so I want you to really go to www.hankstewart.com to read detail through this bio. But Hank, I'm so happy you joined us tonight because I wanted the people to hear your voice. I know there's some great things coming up. But something you said in your bio that was beautiful. And it said, my life experiences have had a great influence on the poetry. Poetry has helped me to deal with many issues. And this was part of, I'm assuming, the book released The Answer in 1993. What kind of experiences shaped that desire, or that plan for you to get to this point that you're at today?
Well, first of all, let me just thank you for allowing me to be on your show. I'm honored. Glad that you extended your microphone to me, to allow me the opportunity to share just who I am and through poetry. And I'll give, and the web address is hankstewart.net. I just don't want your guests to get lost, but it's hankstewart.net. November the 7th, 1991, I'll never forget that day as long as I live. I was a manager at UPS. I was working third shift. I came home from work about 8 o'clock that morning and just started pedaling around the house, doing some little things before, going to bed. I woke up around 5:30ish. I had to get up and get ready to go back to work because I had an important meeting. Never forget this. It had to be at 7 o'clock. But I turned on the news at 6 o'clock to kind of see what the news was, what was going on.
Wow.
And of course, the news was the news: murder, carjacking, inflation, the typical things you hear on the news. Same. The weather was horrible that day. Usually, and I'm a sports junkie, so. I'm that guy who could look at ESPN all day long, football, basketball, baseball, hockey, race car driving, golf, tennis, whatever. I love sports. But that was the day that Magic Johnson declared he had HIV. He was HIV positive. I had never in my life seen the news so bad. Because usually if the news is bad, the weather would lighten it up, the sports would lighten it up. Right. But from start to finish, the news was horrible. I started writing for the first time, and I wrote this little simple poem. Lord, there's times when nothing is going right. Lord, there's times I can't find anything good to talk about. Lord, there's times when I cry. I wonder, do you hear me? Lord, there's times I've fallen, and I wonder, did you see me? Can you hear me, Lord? Can you hear me? Just give me a sign, and very softly he spoke to my heart. He told me about Calvary, and this is what he said. He said, Hank, do you know they slapped me across my face because I heard you cry? They pierced me in my side because I heard you cry. They spit on me because I heard you cry, and I died on a Friday because I heard you cry. But I rose on a Sunday because I heard you cry. Now, my child, you have it all simply because I heard you cry. And that was the first thing that I ever wrote, so I started writing every single day after that. That was my beginning.
Oh, my God. We can have church right now. Actually, we can. I mean, even just that, hearing that beginning is, it's crutching my heart. And I know the listeners that are listening and watching right now, you know, I need you to call in at 770-988-6461 because this is another avenue that people don't always see or know that can take you to an elevated place for God's glory. And, you know, you may be going through a trial or a situation and realize, wait a minute, I have those thoughts. I'm listening to Hank Stewart right now. I'm thinking about this, or I want to know how to press forward and to do this, you know, just to go from watching something on TV to that is just amazing. How has this, Hank, changed your life? This poetry, how has it changed your life from then to now?
You know, Miles Monroe once said, the greatest tragedy in life is not death, but the greatest tragedy in life is to be given life and not know why you're living. Let me say that again. The greatest tragedy in life is not death, but the greatest tragedy in life is to be given life and not know where you're living. On November the 7th, I found my purpose. And so on November the 7th, when I discovered my purpose, I stopped using an alarm clock to get up in the morning because now my purpose wakes me up. And so I feel sorry for people who don't know their purpose, who haven't discovered their purpose, because when you're not in your purpose, you know, and I hear people saying, stay in your lane, because if you stay in your lane, it's not crowded in that lane because that's your lane. You know, it's only crowded when you get out of your lane. When you find your purpose, you don't meet a whole lot of opposition because it's your purpose. I mean, God has already worked it out. So for me, it has changed my life. I mean, to have had the opportunity to recite for people like Miss Rosa Parks, all the way to Michelle Obama, you know, to hear Ruby Dee say things like, I want to put your poem on my tombstone. You know, to have. You know, to have the civil rights legends, you know, Ambassador Andrew Young and Dr. Joseph Lyra and Dr. C.T. Vivian and Cameron Madison Alexander, you know, some amazing civil rights legends, Miss Clayton and all of them to you know, to recruit you to add to their programs, from the Trumpet Awards to, you know, to all type of events. I mean, it's just, you know, it's just been life-changing, but it also allows you the opportunity, you know, to impact lives in the future. And so, you know, I do all kind of things. I have a youth foundation, and so Gwen Mason and I started a youth foundation 13 years ago. And so we have all kind of programs. So I sit on 4 boards. One is the National Juvenile Defender Center out of D.C., and it's helping children, you know, who go before the juvenile court system to have fair and competent representation before they go before courts. I sit on the Workforce Development Board in DeKalb County to help, you know, kids and parents get jobs. The American Voter League, the late Maynard Jackson started the American Voter League, and his son, Maynard Jackson III, picked it up, and he asked me to sit on that board and also sit on my board. So there's a whole lot of work to be done, and I don't think any poet worth his or her weight in salt is, you know, they need to be doing something in the community. If you think about people like Nikki Giovanni, Sonia Sanchez, Maya Angelou, James Weldon Johnson, Paul Lawrence Dunbar, they were all active in the community. So it's got me even more conscious.
That's amazing. Tell us about the Youth Foundation a little bit. Can young people get involved with that? What type of programming does that entail?
Yeah, they can always get involved. There is no cost. We do things with kids every single month. We've broken our year up into a 4-quarter thrust. August, September, October is our financial and health and wellness quarter, so we teach kids about money and being healthy. Awesome. November, December, January, we teach kids about, you know, giving back. That's our soul-wrenching quarter. That's our give-back quarter. So we feed the homeless and go under the bridge and pass out brown paper bag lunches and things of that nature. In November and December, we've adopted a home called Gilgal for women who are recovering from substance abuse. And then we take our kids in January to A.G. Rose to sit at the feet of seniors. So they interview and talk to senior citizens. February, March, and April is our Black History. In February, Women's History Program. In March, we do a Career Day. In April, May, June, and July, we do this month coming up. We have on the 19th, we have an event called Finding Your Purpose, helping discover your purpose. And a lot of our kids are so out of whack because they don't know why they're here.
Right.
And let me just say this, and I say this all the time to parents. I say you need to be careful because sometimes parents are keeping their kids from their purpose.
Come on. That's good.
Sometimes parents are, and they don't mean to because they love their child so much. But when you have a child who's a great writer or a reader or who draws very well or who cooks very well,
right.
A parent would quickly say, well, no, we don't want you to be a chef. You can't make no money as a cook. You need to go and become a doctor or an attorney. And that child grows up miserable. And had he or she had the opportunities, and I'm living proof, I'm a living witness, had a child start writing poetry at 5 and 6 and 8 years old, who knows where I'd be right now.
Right.
So sometimes parents get in the way. And then, so we do a Finding Your Purpose. In the month of June, we'll do anti-bullying workshop, and we'll do a etiquette workshop. Our kids have an opportunity to have their own white linen affair. We give them a budget. They put it on. They meet with the hotel. They give away gifts. They do voter registration. Our kids have had dinner with Senator Barack Obama before he came President Barack Obama. They've had every civil rights legend to come and talk to them. So we've been really fortunate with a lot of the stuff that we do with our children.
I mean, this is phenomenal. And I know that there's some listeners out there listening right now. Again, if you're listening or you're viewing right now, this is a triumphant radio show here at 108 Praise Radio, where we're always voicing the gospel. I have guests with me, Hank Stewart, and we're just hearing about the awesomeness of his organization and the foundation that he operates and co-operates and the different programming that's involved in it. Hank, if people that are listening right now and their mouths are dropping like, wow, this is awesome. How can I, even as an adult, get involved? Where would they go to get information or to see their involvement? Or is that something that you have a staff and then you just have the kids that come in throughout the year? What would be their measure? Someone that's listening that's saying, I want to be involved with that.
It's real simple. Just go to our website, and it's StewartFoundation.com, theStewartFoundation.com, and there's an application on there, and it gives you. And there's also a calendar of events that I just gave you, and so the parents can see those different things that that we do monthly with kids. We're coming to our year-end workshops where we're on a fiscal year, so it's August through July. And so our kids, but it's always open. There's an open enrollment every single month. But the reason why I said that is because we have elections. Our kids have their own elections in August, and they elect new officers. So it's a prime time to get involved. Last year we gave away 23 scholarships to college students. We also give students every single thing they need, the college students that are in our foundation, that they need to start school with. So they get a Foot Locker full of bedding and school supplies. They get towels and blankets and all of that stuff. They also get we've given them printers in the past, just everything they need to start on school, as well as like a $500 book scholarship. So, it takes a lot of that burden off the parents. So we've been really fortunate. We got some great sponsors. If you go to hankstewart.net or if you go to the StewartFoundation.com, you can see all of the amazing sponsors. Shameless plug, but people like Delta, UPS, Coca-Cola, Hartsfield Jackson, Xerox, Aon Hewitt, Merck, Waste Management. McDonald's, Fulton DeKalb Hospital Authority. So many people have come on to sponsor, and so we got even more coming on this year.
That's phenomenal. And so I hope everybody got that. And again, that's www.thestewartfoundation.com or www.hankstewart.net. I just want you to get engaged and read through what we haven't been able to share on this show tonight. You brought up something while you were talking, and so I'm shifting gears just a touch. The White Linen Affair. That is coming up this July 27th through the 29th, I believe. And you have got
Yes,
to
it
tell the
is.
listeners about the White Linen Affair, the golf tournament that's connected with this. This is awesome. And can I say something to the viewers and the listeners
Sure.
before Hank says something about it? That I'm excited that those of us that are Christians can still have fun in a good way. I'm excited that those of us that are Christians don't have to just sit home in the dark and, have nothing to do. There are things to do. There's opportunity. There's networking. It's out there. You just have to know who to connect with and align with so that you don't live a life in a box and end up, just kind of thinking the same four corners, but you live life and life abundantly. You're free. When we talk about trials and triumphant things and going from a place of trauma to triumph, it also means how you just deal life. The Lord gave us life. So we're to take that life and be joyful about it, be excited about it. And as I was going through some of the things that were taking place at this White Linen Affair, I said, now this is something we need to make sure all of our people know about. Now, I know there's some sold out hotels and so forth, and I'm going to let you get to that. But as we're talking again, I want you all to go online. Also, if you want to call in with a question for Hank Stewart, please call 770-988-6461 or for Kendrick Love. Okay, Hank, I'm trying to get back over to you to share about the White Linen Affair.
But no worries. This year we've put together an amazing White Linen Affair, and this year we're kicking it off with a golf tournament. So we have a celebrity golf tournament. We have Billy White Shoes Johnson, people like Mike Phillips, and a whole lot of professional athletes who will be playing. So we have a amazing golf course, which is right around the corner from the hotel. I said on the radio the other day, we're leaving Atlanta, but we're still in the city. We're in Peachtree City. So if you've ever been down to Peachtree City, it's a beautiful community, real beautiful community. It's a golf cart community. And so we're doing all kind of amazing things that week. We also have about 400 kids who are coming for four think tanks. One is how to get involved in the film industry. Two, how to get involved in aviation. Hartsfield Jackson, which is one of our sponsors, is going to talk to kids about how to get involved in aviation. Then technology, how to stay abreast on what's happening from a technology standpoint, because we're getting, that digital divide is real, and our kids are falling behind. And then the last one is advocacy, teaching our kids how to advocate on behalf of what is right. Then we have an evening, a kickoff to our weekend, opening reception. We have a MC Lightfoot. We're doing a soundless party. I know you just had a young man on talking about dance, and that was pretty amazing. So we're doing a soundless party and pushing just activities. Let me back up, and we're also giving away three cash prizes for whoever takes the most steps, because we're promoting being healthy. So whoever takes the most steps throughout the weekend, $250, $150, $100, just because you're taking steps, just because you're staying healthy. Then that Saturday morning we have a yoga class and bike riding and tennis and basketball, and people can get active. Our kids have their own White Linen Affair, so they get a chance to play in that, as well as a literary cafe. So they all have to come in and read an hour, read a book for an hour, and then they come to their luncheon and this year their theme is the Black Panther. So they get an opportunity to put on a whole event with the Black Panther. They get to meet with the hotel and pick their menu and all of that. Then they leave there and go into a private conversation with Congressman John Lewis and Dr. C.T. Vivian. Last year they got an opportunity to have a private conversation with Dr. C.T. Vivian.
Hey, Hank.
Ambassador Andrew Young.
Hey,
yes.
Hank, I was going to say, too, get in touch with me, because I've also been teaching kids ballroom. So I've been teaching them partnering, so
awesome.
A little bit of salt.
Okay.
So, so some of the stuff that you're doing, I definitely
Well, please inbox me. Please inbox me, and we'll share that.
Look at
and then, and so once we get through with that, then we have our red carpet. Well, we have a day party around the pool, and then we have our red carpet. We're honoring two amazing humanitarians. One is Miss Ingrid Saunders Jones. Ingrid was the chair for the Coca-Cola Foundation, and in her tenure, she gave away over $460 million in her tenure.
Wow.
And so she retired, and then she went to work, and now she's the chair of the National Council of Negro Women out of D.C. The National Council of Negro Women is the only African American owned building between the Capitol and the White House, and they have purchased that. And then we're honoring a gentleman by the name of Rick Baker. Rick Baker is a philanthropist, humanitarian, wealthy businessman. And he's done behind the scenes. He's sponsored a whole lot of things for Civil Rights Legend and even more our children. And then we have Howard Hewitt performing. We have Brahma Leon, a fashion show. The fashion show, I promise you, think you stepped straight out of Milan, or Paris, or Italy. So we have a fashion show. We have an old school party with DJ Lonnie Love, and Howard Hewitt is performing in another ballroom. And then we wake up Sunday morning, and Reverend Anthony Motley from Lindsay Street will close us out with our Sunday morning worship. We always have prayer. Church service before we leave. Judge Penny had been our speaker for the last 9 years, but her schedule conflict this year, so we got someone just as good or equally as good, and that's Reverend Anthony Motley at Lindsay Street. So that's just a little bit about what's happening. It's a whole lot of other things happening, but just try to give you some highlights.
Those are phenomenal highlights. And where can people register for the White Linen Affair? Online as well, Is that correct?
Yeah, go to hankstewart.net. And, let me just say this, the tickets for the weekend, the entire weekend is $100.
Okay.
I mean, you can't beat it. The entire weekend is $100. Heavy hors d'oeuvres on Saturday night, or dessert at midnight, and, all of that. Everything, the entire weekend is $100. You can go to hankstewart.net and get your tickets. You're right, the hotel, the Crown Plaza has sold out, but there's a hotel right next door, the Hilton Gardens Inn, who's honoring our room rate, and that's a $99 room rate. And so, I mean, that one is moving too. So, I mean, we tried to make it affordable. There's no hotel cost for your car. There's no valet parking costs. We just try to keep the cost as nominal as possible, and we've been able to do that. So we're fortunate.
Yeah, and that's awesome, because there's so many conferences. You're paying for valet, you're paying to park your car, you're paying for all these extra things that, almost make you feel a little bit sour even before you get to the event. So that's beautiful to hear. And, just hearing it sounds like this is a family type event. Am I correct by saying that?
Well, it's family, and it's a girlfriend's trip, it's a guy's trip, it's everything. I mean, you got a little bit of everything. You got the kid piece, you got the historical piece, you got the fun. I mean, it's just a fun weekend. We always say our event is not an event; it's an experience. And this is our 17th year. This is the 17th year we've been doing it, so we've been really, really fortunate to have been around 17 years. It's hard to do something every single year, and this year we decided to leave Atlanta and go south, and we thought we wasn't sure how people would accept it. The hotel sold out quicker this year than we've ever sold it out. So, I mean, people are looking for something different, so we've been fortunate.
So I know we're pressed for time, but hey, could you tell us about you have Love Jones Sundays. Is that still taking place at Nancy's?
Yes, we do. Love Jones Sundays is it's almost a talent. It's like a talent search, and we create a platform for just good, raw, clean talent. Awesome. So it's at Nancy's Pizza right in Midtown on Ponce de Leon, next to the Krispy Kreme. And we do it once a month, and basically we have some of the most amazing poets, vocalists, comedians, musicians come out. It's the best $10 you can ever spend on. I don't think we have enough room for a whole lot of dancers because the stage is kind of small. But I think we might have to move some tables. We might have to move some tables. But we just have. I mean, it's just. It's because it's so tight in there. Because we sell out every month. I mean, it's usually so many people in there. We're trying to find places to put chairs. Right. So it's just, but it's just a really, really cool piece. And folk love it. I mean, they look forward to, because we only do it for about 5 or 6 months out of the year, and it's just a good old. Just like the movie Love Jones, but with clean version.
Right. Mm-hmm. I love it. That is beautiful. We are just so thankful that you were able to join the show tonight. I mean, again, everybody that's listening, or if you're watching online, please, again, go to the hankstewart.net, www.hankstewart.net. You can also go to www.thethestewartfoundation.com. And more of everything that we've spoken about tonight is on those web pages. A great amount of information. If you're trying to look to connect in some type of way, please do. Awesome author, awesome writer, awesome activist. It's so beautiful when you can have people like Hank and like Kendrick that really take their gift and impact people everywhere. You know, they just want to make sure that people know more than just how to do it. There's a reason, there's a purpose behind it. And I think we can all leave here tonight reminding ourselves, what is our purpose? Are we living our purpose? Are we living on purpose? And again, that to me makes a strong man, a strong woman, when we can say, you know what, I know my purpose, so I don't have to be bitter. I don't have to be this way or down or sad or wondering or questioning or gossipy or whatever. I know my purpose. I'm excited about it. And I just want to impact you so you can know yours and you can press forward. That's a beautiful thing. And I just thank God that he's allowed people like you, Hank, and you, Kendrick, to come on the show tonight to be those examples of pressing through, pressing on, showing what triumphant living is in a humble way that impacts people in a region. You know, our goal is to impact not just our city, but a region and beyond. So that's a beautiful thing. So again, if you're just tuning in, we're at the end of our show. You've been listening to the Triumphant Radio Show here at 106 Praise Radio, where we're always voicing the gospel. And do we have a caller on the line? Okay, well, that's good. So I want to make sure you remember that to pray for Hawaii. Again, we talked about that in the beginning. And I also want to, again, thank you, Mr. Hank Stewart, for joining our show. Thank you, Kendrick Love, for joining our show. You can find Kendrick at
Kendrick Love Dance Company on IG or Facebook, or Kendrick Love Senior on IG or Facebook. Any one of those, you definitely can get in touch with me.
Fantastic. So I hope you've been blessed tonight, family. I love you. And remember tonight, don't just sleep. I want you to dream. Wake up winning. God bless you, and I'll see you next week.